I know people are going to ask why I'm building a PFSense router. Honestly, I've always wanted to build one, and I'm kind of late to the party, and I'm sure there are probably other options out there, but this is just what I've always wanted to build, and so here we are today, and I'm building one. If you're not familiar with PFSense, then I recommend that you go check them out on their website or do some research on your own. The amount of things that a PFSense can do is just amazing. It just gives you a lot of functionality that a normal consumer that a normal consumer router won't give you. And for me, somebody who's learning networking and trying to get CCNA, this is just valuable to get like more of a hands-on experience on putting one together and all the different features that it offers, and just kind of messing with the hardware and all that fun stuff. So that's why I'm doing it. This is just something that I decided to share with you all on YouTube. I think a lot of you will either enjoy this, or maybe want to do it on your own, or seek other methods of doing this, or recommend to me what I'm missing out on by doing this instead of something else, or, you know, just give some constructive criticism if you're familiar with this. Networking is very new to me. Not like I haven't had home networks, and I'm not like they haven't been secure, but like going deeper into them is all new. So this is uncharted territory for me, and so it's a good learning experience, and I'm just kind of enjoying it. And so that's why we're doing a PFSense router today. Even though it is incredibly expensive with all the parts that I put together in it, I do think it'll be worth it. And if, you know, it's not permanent, so everyone freaking out about the price, it's not permanent. Because I'm like freaking out inside, but I'm like, these parts were just lying around not doing anything, and now they have a home and a purpose. So at least until I figure out what else to do with them, they can have a job. But I'm going to put the PFSense information in the description below if you want to check it out a little bit more. Hello! Ooh. My lips are a little probably too rosy for this type of video, so I will fix that momentarily. However, I'm sorry, can I help you? I think I just woke her up and she's very annoyed. I am working on a new project, and this one is actually going to come to fruition because I need it. I need it in my life to protect this household from outside threats. You would think, being a threat hunter, I would have remembered that word faster. However, so what we're working on today, if you haven't guessed from my teasers on Instagram and Twitter, that I am working on building a PFSense router! Spoiler alert! And so a lot of people build PFSense routers by just like going to Goodwill and buying a super cheap, really old computer, or like I think you can even do them with a Raspberry Pi, and I know you can virtualize them now. But me being me, I'm going to go through my closet of things and find some old computer hardware to build a probably excessively expensive router for home use. That's going to serve as both an educational project and actually be put to good use. So I just can't get over how cute she is. What are you doing? She's looking out the window. By the way, putting this her bed on my desk was the most genius thing I've ever done, because she'd always lie on my keyboard or my hands and drive me nuts. But now, with that her bed is on here, she just lays in her bed. So I recently purchased a 4-port NIC. It does have an Intel chip on it. However, I think it's like a third-party casing. But I bought it from eBay, and they say that it is an Intel chip. How do you even really know anymore? I don't know. But we're gonna put this in there. So we got this, and then I have to go into my, gosh, look at this mess. This is a disaster. Yes, I know. And then we got an SSD, which, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I also posted this on Instagram. This was only $30 on Amazon, which is crazy to me. I've been buying a lot of NVMe drives lately, and those are still kind of expensive. But this drive, $30, hello, it's a 240 gig, and it's Kingston. And It might not be like the best drive, but for a router, I think it's gonna be just fine. And if you're thinking like, why are you even using an SSD that doesn't really matter for a router? It was $30. $30. Like, I can't even. It's so cheap. Anyway, so I need motherboard, a processor, a case. We don't need a graphics card. I'm sure the motherboard that I pick will have onboard graphics and a sticker RAM. So let's just jump into this. Okay, so this is really embarrassing, but I'm going to show you the closet where I store some of my old computers. Yeah. This is also a closet where I keep my dresses, so ignore that. But, and my bathing suits, ignore that. And some other boots. Anyway, so I have a couple computers in here. And I know that there is a motherboard combo in one of these that I feel like will do the job just fine. This is my old Landboy that I actually used to travel all over the country with and take this on land to lands and a lot of places. So this has been all over. Still have some stickers from lands on there. However, the inside is not looking so good, and I just can't seem to part with this. But so that one's empty. This is like my previous computer before the current computer that's there, and then 2 Fractal Design cases that, actually these are 3 Fractal Design cases. One of these has a processor motherboard combo in here that we're gonna use. Hopefully, I gotta see if it's in there. All right, bear with me. Yes, I think I found it. So this is just a computer that I kind of like threw together with a lot of my old parts. You've probably never seen these, but this is a pretty decent kind of setup still. It's, well, there's actually not that much in here, but it's a Z97 MSI Gaming 5 motherboard. I don't even know what this costs. Probably, I don't know, maybe like 20 bucks now because it's so old. But, and then I think this is an i7. It's a really, really old i7, but still really good. And then, I don't even know, but this RAM doesn't actually say how much is on them, so I don't even know. But what we're gonna do is pop that SSD in here, pop that 4-port NIC in here, install PFSense, and we should be good to go if I don't just totally destroy this slot right here. Okay, we're good. So hopefully everything still works. It's not like overly dusty. Everything looks like it's in pretty good shape. Hopefully fan's plugged in. Oh, look at that. I already have an SSD in here. Gosh darn it. And this is a good one. Well, now I have an extra. I thought I didn't have any extra SSDs. I realize this isn't the best work service, but I moved the table from here. This is all I got. Also don't have a screw. So downloaded the PFSense image, and now I'm using Rufus, which is fantastic software. If you're not familiar with Rufus, I do recommend it for a lot of burning of ISO images or creating bootable drives. It's just really easy to use and it's free. So now it's just creating a bootable USB drive so that we can install PFSense on the computer that I put together. And I'm just using, I think it's like a 16 gig little flash drive. Okay, so this is the moment of truth. We're gonna see if this thing actually boots. There's a lot of things I haven't actually checked, so we're just gonna find out real quick. Usually you want the power on. What haven't I checked? I think it was just the power switch was unplugged. Well, motherboard power would do it. We don't have any power cables plugged in. Caitlin. Okay, I think we're good now. Yeah! There we go. Now, this motherboard doesn't even have HDMI on it, so I have a DVI-D cable going to HDMI on the monitor. I know, things are weird right now. But we do have a nice keyboard and mouse. Actually, it's a Logitech Corsair combo. Don't tell either of them. See, the auto boots to the USB. Super easy to throw a computer together, burn the image to a USB, and install it on your machine. And you have a full PFSense router, so super exciting. So now I had to figure out how I want to configure this, how I want to do different VLANs and different, all kinds of things. There's so much you can do with a PFSense router. I really implore you to find a computer or find some parts that you have laying around and throw one together like I did. It doesn't have to be, obviously, like what I did, because I feel like this machine is kind of expensive. Ah, goodness gracious. It's not clickbait, it's true. This router is $1,000. That's just based on what all the parts cost inside. You'll see. I just added them all up on PC Part Picker. I didn't realize. So, you know, hang on to those pitchforks. I'm going to try to swap out some of these parts or put this in a less expensive machine. But I honestly just had these parts sitting around in the closet. I completely forgot I even had this processor, which I realize is a first world problem. But this was my old gaming processor from like probably more than that, maybe 4 years ago. So that's why it's just lying around. I've since upgraded. This was actually my last processor. I honestly just forgot I had it. So don't give me too much hate. This was not intentional. Here's a breakdown of the prices. Just in case nobody believes me. The processor is going for $500 online. I have no idea why, and I don't know if this is, like, why? If this is real, I don't know. But that's what PC Park just gave me. And then we have the Hyper 212, which is fine. Z97 motherboard. I had to add that in, but that seemed what it was going on eBay. 8 gigs of RAM in there for 2 gig sticks. The Kingston drive that I just got for $30. Here it was, thinking I was saving a ton of money by putting a $30 SSD in there. Nope, not so much. The case is Fractal Design R4. You can see that's about $100. I just kind of put that in there based on eBay as well, or based on what other processor or cases cost. And then this Corsair power supply, obviously way too much. I'm gonna see if I have any other power supplies lying around that are not 600 watts. Obviously I don't need that for a router, but that's, yeah, $100 power supply, which all adds up to, oh goodness, I'm having an anxiety attack just based on that price, that these things were just lying around. Oh my god. So maybe not do that, but you can always go to a secondhand store or a Goodwill and purchase an old computer, and as long as the hardware configuration matches what is necessary on the PFSense page, then by all means you can use that. And so, very exciting. I'm going to put all the information that I use in the description below. If you do end up building a PFSense router, then do share it with me. I'd love to see what you guys all put together or come up with. And stay tuned for part 2, where I will share how I do configure this and what I end up doing with my network. Because my goal is to make my home network as secure as possible for things like IoT devices and just personal use and all of that, something that I've always struggled with, and I feel like this is a project that is forcing me to learn, not only just for personal reasons, but also because you guys know I'm studying for CCNA, and I feel like this kind of helps out a little bit there. Having said all that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye!